who called that Epic Games would bring back Thanos? Oh right, I did. Several times in fact. Now, I may not have guessed that they were going to turn the game mode into something completely new. However, I did claim that he would be coming back to pair with the new movie. Also, I say this like it was some genius 9,000 IQ guess that I made, but in reality, I'm sure that every single other person knew this was going to happen. I mean, why wouldn't it? The game mode that they had last year brought in so much revenue and show for both of the platforms, and the player base loved it. So it wouldn't have made sense for them to not bring it back. But to be fair, it isn't like Endgame needed any more publicity. I mean, this is the movie that made $1.2 billion in the first 4 days of release. For reference, Epic Games made $3 billion in all of 2018. Anyway, with this event finally coming back after an entire year, it got us thinking on what else Epic Games has given us in terms of limited time modes. And after sifting through these, it is really impressive how different they are. Other games create slight variations of their games when they make LTMs, but as of recent, Epic has had a fun little strategy of making entirely new games for their LTMs. We sure do appreciate this dedication, so today we are going to be going over what we think are the top 10 limited time modes in Fortnite Battle Royale. And hey, before we dive in, next time you're buying V-Bucks, use our Support a Creator code, ArcadeCloudPlays, before you do. It really helps our channel, so thanks in advance. You guys are the best. Okay, back to it. Number 10. Don't miss. Kicking us off on today's top 10 is going to be the one-shot game mode. In one-shot, the gravity in the game is extremely low, and every player only has 50 health. To add on top of that, snipers are the only weapons available to players. Well, aside from your trusty harvesting tool, of course. Even if you do happen to take damage and survive, all you got is bandages. So it is still a struggle. Anyway, the entire point of this game mode is supposed to be you can kill someone with only one shot, but also you only get killed with one shot, due to the low health and high damage from snipers. The low gravity and sniper only rule makes this game mode a haven for trickshotters, as you are able to hit cool in the air shots, and your only choice of weapon is a sniper. So no worries about even finding one. This can make for either an extremely fun or extremely terrible game mode, depending on the type of player that you are. If today's your day and you are hitting all the shots in the world, then you are likely going to have a lot of fun with one shot. However, that is easily reversed. This mode can also be found to be a bit annoying with the low gravity, as the intention of it is to slow the game down enough where it is easier to hit sniper shots. However, some players could use this to just dodge around and make themselves impossible to hit. If a player is crafty enough, they hardly have to kill anyone to get to a high placement in this game mode, as all they have to do is make some nice dodges. One shot is a good mix of having fun and hating the game, and everything it stands for. So because of this mix, it's going to rank a little bit worse on this list. I personally like this one a lot, but that is also probably because I've got a few solo wins on it, so it is still safer to put at a worse spot. Personal bias aside, of course, you know. Number 9. Another gold scar? At the number 9 spot, we have the Solid Gold LTM. Solid Gold is a game mode where every single weapon that spawns into the game is legendary no matter what. This means you can have an inventory full with a legendary version of every single weapon type. This game mode may seem just a tad broken at first, but then you realize that every other person has gold guns, so they kind of end up evening out. Obviously, you're going to get melted faster, but hey, now you can melt faster too. This is a game mode that at first seems really hectic and fun, but in reality, it kind of just takes away the value of the legendary weapons. If you are playing for the first time and see a golden scar, you freak out and think the game is won. But after immediately dying to someone else's golden scar, and then having the same scenario play out in 5 more games, you tend to get tired of this game mode. This is more an LTM where really good players could show off. Since everyone has the same kind of weapons, then their actual skill should shine brighter. It is also more commonly used when you get bored of the main game and want to change it up for a few games. Either of those two options work, just please do not be the guy with an inventory of solely legendary rocket launchers, please. Number 8. A basic necessity. Coming up at number 8, we have the Trio LTM. Trios was kind of exactly what it sounds like. Instead of solos with 1, duos with 2, or squads with 4, it was trios with 3. Yep, that's it. Nothing else changed except that it was lobbies of teams of 3. Now you may be wondering to yourself just how trios can make it onto a top 10 list. And it is for a more complex reason than expected. Trios may not be the best LTM by a long shot. However, it is something that I believe is a necessity. Having the option to just play with 3 people was really nice to have, as there are tons of groups that constantly have to take a disadvantage without a member, or take a risk on a random, where it would be much easier to just run 3 versus other teams of 3. Not very flashy, but it makes the list because I think it belongs in the game. Number 7. lag spikes. Blasting into the number 7 spot is the High Explosives game mode, one in which the only weapons that can be found are, well, they are explosives. What did you expect? It's the name of the game. Let me just describe something to you. A game mode with only rocket launchers, grenade launchers, and other explosive weapons. How do you think that sounds? Well, while that does sound hectic, High Explosives can actually be very fun. Running around just firing rockets and blowing stuff up is like the definition of fun, not to mention a good stress reliever. It can be extremely irritating to load into a game and then immediately get blown to bits, or die because there's so much happening that your system and Wi-Fi cannot handle it and you start to lag. But besides all that, it is quite a blast. Also, word of advice, do not get attached to anything you build in this mode. It won't be there for long. Number 6. Tryhard mode. Welcome to the home of the sweatiest players that you can find in the game, Blitz. Blitz is a mode where the circle moves way faster and you could see its endpoint from the beginning. This game mode has become the home for players who think they are just absolutely insane at this game and need a bit more of a challenge. If you are just a casual player, stay away from this. You fire a single bullet and your enemy will have the Taj Mahal built in no time. Don't even get me started on Blitz Showdown, where players can actually get ranked. Loading into one of those is like asking for a broken keyboard or controller, because no matter how good you think you are going to get smoked by some 11-year-old that doesn't know how to spell Mississippi. I generally stay away from Blitz, but I know a good deal of the community likes it, so it will earn the number 6 spot, I guess. Number 5. Separate game. Getaway almost seems like it had a little too much work put into it. This game mode was barely even Fortnite anymore. It was just a heist game that Epic had been working on and just wanted to test on the Fortnite servers. This was a very interesting LTM, where teams had to collect their jewel from somewhere on the map and get it to one of the getaway vans that were located in the air around the map, from where they would just take off and win if they were first. If you have ever played Payday, imagine that game but in Fortnite. This is one of the LTMs where Epic really showed their creativity and how much they can really change the core game to make it a fun new mode. This one got kinda old after a few rounds for me, but while playing it with a few friends, it is easy to get caught up in it. Number 4. Team Deathmatch. Do not even try and tell me that Team Rumble is not just a generic name for Team Deathmatch. I mean, we all know what it really is. There's also a reason that Team Deathmatch is highly requested for every game, and that is because it is fun and addicting. That stays true in Fortnite. Respawns, more than 4 teammates, and first one to 100 kills wins? This hardly even sounds like Fortnite, but it actually works surprisingly well with the game. Each location makes up a kind of mini-map, and with tons of space, it can still give the Call of Duty kind of vibe. It also helps that we got NFL Team Rumble, which obviously would make literally anything better. Number 3. Unbelievable. Finding out that Thanos was actually in Fortnite was like entering an alternate reality. We'd all seen so many memes and jokes about it. And then Epic goes ahead and actually puts Thanos into Fortnite? Actually insane. In the Infinity Gauntlet LTM, the gauntlet would spawn in randomly on the map, and whoever recovered it became Thanos, equipped with all of his powers. Every other player had to try and kill him, and when he died, someone else could go and claim the gauntlet, starting the cycle over. This is probably one of the craziest things that Epic has ever done, and will ever do. The amount of hype around this event was unreal. Also, who knew playing as a murderous titan could be so much fun? It does put a smile on my face. Number 2. The OG. Coming in at the number 2 spot is the 50 vs 50 game mode, and we have to hand it to this one for being the very first. This is exactly as it sounds. 2 teams of 50 and the first one to lose all of its members loses. This mode has gone through quite a few changes, continuously improving and remaining a staple of Fortnite. For quite a while, 50 vs 50 was a pretty permanent mode, as it had not left the queue for a while. How could you blame it? It is simple and relaxing and you get to engage in massive team fights. What else could you want for a bigger scale Battle Royale? Does a perfect job of making a new LTM, but still keeping the base formula of success intact. Number 1. They don't look like the Avengers. For our number 1 spot on today's list, you all had to know this one was coming. It's Endgame. How could this not win our number 1 spot? In the Endgame LTM, you are either on the hero side or Thanos' side, and they have 2 different objectives. The goal for Thanos' team is for him and his minions to collect all of the Infinity Stones, where the hero's goal is to stop them. Obviously, all this, you're catching up, this makes sense. Seems like the movie. Thanos is in this game mode, and if you are on the hero side, then you have a chance to get to use Iron Man's blasters, Thor's Stormbreaker, Captain America's shield, or Hawkeye's bow, all of which have their own special functions. This is an actual LTM in Fortnite, where you get to use Avengers weapons to fight Thanos. I mean, it's hardly Battle Royale, but who cares? I would buy this as a separate game. Did not think they would outdo themselves from last year, but look at what Epic went ahead and did. Come on! Well, that was the top 10 best Fortnite limited time modes. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to subscribe to the Countdown for even more awesome gaming content. Thanks guys, and I'll see you in the next one.